With the Demon Slayer Infinity Castle arc finally coming to the rest of the world, let's summarize the rest of the series. First of all, here's Tanjiro, kind boy. Lives on a mountain, family sells coal, travels down the mountain, he has super smell. About to go up the mountain, it's getting late. Old man says, come inside, there's demons about. Tanjiro says, okay, leaves in the morning, family's dead, killed by demons. All except Nezuko, she is injured. Tanjiro tries to take her down the mountain, only find out she's become a demon. Demon Slayer Giyu arrives on the scene, going to kill Nezuko, however, Tanjiro convinces Giyu to spare her. Giyu then sends Tanjiro to Urarako-sensei, who does several things. Trains to slay demons using water breathing, able to teach Tanjiro about demons, and hypnotize Nezuko so that any human she sees, she will see as family. Demons are humans who are turned into demons. All of them come from one person, the main villain of the series, Muzan Kibutsushi. As for their weaknesses, they only really have two: sunlight and swords that can absorb sunlight. During Tanjiro's training, he meets Sabuto, another one of Urarako-sensei's students, who helps Tanjiro slash his rock in half in order to get the Master's blessing to go to the final selection. While in the middle of the final selection, it is revealed that Sabuto was actually killed many years ago by the hand demon that Tanjiro is now facing. Tanjiro is able to muster his strength, defeat the hand demon, and lay the souls of the children to rest. Upon passing the final selection, Tanjiro is given two things: the ore to make his own special sword, as well as a crow. They act as reconnaissance as well as messengers for all slayers. Before Tanjiro leaves on his first mission, Urarako-sensei gives Tanjiro a little bit more information. The more humans a demon consumes, the stronger they become, and that once they get strong enough, demons can get a blood demon art, supernatural abilities, and there's no real way to train for them. After one of Tanjiro's missions, he's having a nice bowl of soup where suddenly he gets a smell. It is this person who was in the house when his entire family died. He follows the smell to reveal it is Muzan, who is the progenitor of all demons. However, he's living with a human girl and he is pretending to be a human at this moment. Muzan creates a demon out of a random passerby in the crowd. Tanjiro is forced to hold this newly created demon down, and as Muzan makes his escape. The man is subdued by Tamayo. She was a demon created by Muzan hundreds of years ago. She was able to change her body physiology so that she does not need to consume human flesh, only a little bit of blood, and she was able to remove the curse that Muzan bestowed upon her. She also has Yushiro, a demon that she created in order to save him because he was dying of a disease at the time. Muzan then sends these two demons after Tanjiro. One is defeated rather easily, and the other one says Muzan's name, activating the curse. Once the curse activated, every one of Muzan's cells that give the demons its powers essentially self-destruct, destroying the physical body until sunlight comes, truly killing them. These demons also inform Tanjiro of the 12 Kizuki, 12 strongest demons that Muzan has created. They are split in between the upper moons and the lower moons, the lower moons being the weaker ones. On Tanjiro's travels, he meets Zenitsu, another one of the survivors of his year from the final selection, and they go to the Woodland Mansion in order to save a child who's been kidnapped by a demon. They come across an unnamed boar figure who later becomes named Inosuke. He was also a member of the final selection of the same year. Zenitsu is a pants-pissing coward who has no idea how to fight. When he is unconscious, he is actually a very skilled swordsman who is able to decapitate demons in a flash of lightning. Meanwhile, Inosuke is not like many other demon hunters. He is a demon hunter for the thrill of it, for the fun. He does not have much regard for just about anyone, even stomping on children. As for why this kid was kidnapped, it turns out he has a special type of blood. A certain blood that is the equivalent of 100 men. However, before the demon, Kyogai, a former Lower Moon 6A which consumed the child, Tanjiro was able to defeat the demon. However, despite Kyogai being a demon, Tanjiro still pities the man he once was, reminding us of just how kind Tanjiro is. After this mission, the three boys are heavily injured. They go to a house to recuperate for a little bit, and then are sent to this mountain, which is home of the Spider Family, a group of demons who, while generally speaking demons are not supposed to work together, this one has stipulations because Rui of Lower Moon 5 is one of Muzan's favorites. One of the most important things that happen during this arc is that Tanjiro is about to be killed by Lower Moon 5. However, before he dies, Tanjiro has a flashback remembering his father. Tanjiro's father is a sickly man. However, despite his weak body, he was able to dance for hours on end thanks to a breathing technique that was passed down through the family, known as the Hinokami Kagura. Tanjiro is able to quickly switch to this breathing style, which is able to help close the gap. However, he is still unable to cut its head, but a little bit of Nezuko's blood was on the sword, and she awakened her blood demon art. And together the siblings were able to defeat Lower Moon 5. At least they thought they defeated the demon, because Ryu he cut off his own head before he could be decapitated by the special sword, before he was able to take his vengeance on Tanjiro. Giyu was able to make a stand, and showing off the 11th form of water breathing, a form that he invented himself and was quickly able to defeat Lower Moon 5. Another main thing that happens during this arc is that Zenitsu fights this very creepy Toy Story looking spider demon. The spider demon soon finds out that Zenitsu only knows a single attack. Zenitsu flashes back, upset that he only knows one attack. However, his master tells him to hone this attack to perfection. He is also members of another student of his master and tells Zenitsu that Zenitsu is a worthless student. How the master wastes his time on Zenitsu. As the mission winds down, and Demon Slayers is clean up the last remaining demons. This also includes Nezuko. Giyu, who tells Tanjiro to run, and while he does initially run, he is tackled by this girl who knocks him out, and leaving Nezuko to fend for herself and run away. Before a finishing blow could be landed, one of the crows yell out, telling them to bring the siblings to the Master's mansion. Tanjiro is put on trial due to breaking one of the pivotal rules of being a Demon Slayer, housing a demon. And those people who are hearing him out are the Hashira, the strongest slayers that the Demon Slayer Corps have to offer. We're already aware of Giyu, the Water Hashira. There's then Rengoku, the Flame Hashira, the Love Hashira, Mitsuri, Obanai, the Serpent Hashira, Sanemi, the Wind Hashira, Gyomei, the Stone Hashira, Murichiro, the Mist Hashira, and last but not least is Shinobu, the Insect Hashira. Please forgive me, forgot to mention Tengen, the Sound Hashira. The Master makes himself known, stating that Nezuko is welcome to stay. However, some of the Hashira are not convinced, mainly Sanemi, who is a Hashira with one of the special blood. He cuts himself in order to go to Nezuko to try to consume him, but Nezuko fights her instincts, earning her safety from the Demon Slayer Corps. With the trial over, Tanjiro is sent to the Butterfly Mansion. A couple of things happen. First of all, Tanjiro recovers, obviously. Tanjiro has a very interesting conversation with Shinobu. Shinobu is a woman with a smile on her face and a generally upbeat personality. However, this is all a farce. This personality is something that she has in order to remember her older sister, the former Flower Hashira. Shinobu's older sister was someone who was very similar to Tanjiro, who was very kind to people, well, even to demons, despite not deserving it. Shinobu is very traumatized and hurt by demons and has a great anger towards them, believing that they can never live in harmony. The last interesting thing that happens here is that we learn a little bit about Kanao, the younger sister of Shinobu. She is a very mute type of person, and we have a flashback that explains that she was very abused to the point where she was traumatized to the point of becoming mute. Shinobu's older sister, who found her and took her in, becoming a younger sister. However, the main issue with Kanao is that she was unable to make any decisions for herself, to the point where she would even starve if she was not told directly to eat. Kanao was then given a coin in order to flip to help make decisions. There's then a flashback to 3 months ago where Muzan calls a meeting for all the lower moons. He is upset at how weak the lower moons are, as the upper moons have had no change in their rankings for the past 100 years. As such, he decides to disband the lower moons, killing all of them except this guy who wants to die. And so, to reward his unique personality, Muzan gives him a boost of blood and tells the demon that if he kills Tanjiro, he will get even more blood. Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu are sent on the Mugen train in order to back up the Flame Hashira Rengoku, and Tanjiro asks Rengoku about the Hinokami Kagura. However, Rengoku states that he knows nothing about this. While on the train, they come across a few demons who Rengoku is able to quickly dispatch. However, it turns out that this was all fake. A dream brought on by the Lower Moon One's Blood Demon arts. However, they're able to break out of the spell, defeat the demon, and all seems well. That is until Akaza takes a stand on the field. Akaza is the Upper Moon rank 3, who fights Rengoku, offers Rengoku to become a demon. Rengoku rejects the offer, and after an intense battle, Akaza pierces Rengoku's chest with his own fist. This wound is fatal. Akaza is able to make his escape as just before the sun comes up, removing Akaza's hand inside of chest, and thus Rengoku dies of blood loss. Despite this, the Mugen Train mission is still complete. Once Tanjiro is recovered, he makes his travels to Rengoku's family's place in order to deliver the final message. However, when meeting Rengoku's father, the old man is a drunkard who insults Rengoku's memory, calling the son weak. The father looks at Tanjiro and recognizes the earrings, recognizing Tanjiro as a user of the sun breathing technique. Sun breathing is the very first breathing style that was created. It was also the strongest breathing style. The four main breathing styles and all other breathing styles came afterwards, only being pale imitations of sun breathing. After this visit to the Rengoku residence, Tanjiro makes his way back to the Butterfly Mansion, only to find that the Sound Hashira, Tengen, is kidnapping some of the workers from the Butterfly Mansion, needing girls for his mission. The boys offer themselves up in the girls' stead, and they go into cover in the entertainment district, being aware there are strong demons there. The strong demon in question actually being Upper Moon rank 6, which is Daki as well as the brother Gotaro. An intense battle takes place, which actually levels the entertainment district, leaving Tengen without an arm and without an eye. However, at the end of the day, they are able to defeat the demons, in large part and thanks to Tanjiro awakening his Demon Slayer mark, a mark that is able to greatly increase the proficiency, powers, and strengths of a Demon Slayer. After this arc, Tengen officially announces his retirement, and Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke are once again sent to the Butterfly Mansion to tend their wounds. In the last battle, Tanjiro had chipped his sword. However, his sword maker decides not to send him one due to Tanjiro's constant breaking of his life work. This sends Tanjiro to go to the hidden village. While at the village, a few interesting things happen. Tanjiro meets up with the Mist Hashira, Muichiro. He comes across the Love Hashira, Mitsuri, who joined the Demon Slayer Corps in order to find a husband. The last person of interest Tanjiro meets is Genya, the last member of the final selection from Tanjiro's year, who is also the younger brother of Sanemi, the Wind Hashira. We also learn about Sanemi and Genya's history. Their mothers turn into a demon. The mom kills most of the siblings. Sanemi is forced to kill his own mother to save Genya. However, due to Genya being a small child, he does not understand what happened at this moment and blames Sanemi, saying he hates his older brother for killing their mom. At the beginning of this arc, Tanjiro is on relatively bad terms with Muichiro, the Mist Hashira, and Genya. However, the villages soon come under attack from the 5th and 4th ranked Upper Moons. During this arc, we learn that Genya's power is quite unique. While he does not have a breathing style, he is able to consume demon flesh, gaining some of the demon's power. We also learn more about Muichiro. He is a prodigy, generally attributed to the fact that he is a descendant of the first breathing style user. However, his personality is quite off-putting to some, and we learn that he in fact had a twin. Though two brothers were attacked by a demon in the middle of the night, his brother sacrificed himself in order to save Muichiro, and Muichiro was being traumatized by this, has this personality, which is actually a personality that he gained from his brother. Because before the incident, Muichiro was a very kind person, in a way somewhat similar to Tanjiro. However, as he regained these memories, his old personality came back. The battle is very intense against the Upper Moon 4 and Upper Moon 5 demons. Before things turn too dire, both Demon Slayers are actually able to awaken their own Demon Slayer marks. For Muichiro to defeat the demon, and for Mitsuri to fend off the demon till daybreak. As daybreak happens, Nezuko is out of her box. She is about to die. Tanjiro covers her in an attempt to try to save her. However, looking over, Upper Moon 4 demon is still alive at this moment, chasing down villagers. Tanjiro is forced to choose between saving his own sister and saving several villagers, and he freezes, having a full-on panic attack. Nezuko throws Tanjiro off, forcing Tanjiro to save the villagers. As Tanjiro accepts Nezuko is going to die, but turns back to find that Nezuko had conquered the sun. While this is cause for celebration, it is also cause for worry because Muzan is aware of this. Muzan wants one thing: to find a cure so that he can no longer be affected by the sun. Only one way he thought of: to find the blue spider lily, which would help cure him. However, he now sees a second way: consume Nezuko. With the rank 4 and rank 5 demon defeated, the Hashira have a meeting, figuring out how they were able to defeat them, learning about the marks, wanting all of them to have them, but also being aware that they need to get stronger. While the Hashira are some of the strongest that have ever existed, the normal ranks are very weak. During the training arc, quite a few things happen. Giyu's backstory, we learn that he and Sabuto were actually trained together. Sabuto saved Giyu's life. However, the reason why he was unable to defeat the hand demon is that he fought for several days without rest, was exhausted, and this is what led to his death. Giyu now has survivor's guilt, not seeing himself as the real Water Hashira. Tanjiro talks to Giyu, and while at first Giyu feels he is not worthy of this, Tanjiro helping the Hashira eventually start to trust himself a little bit more and proceed with the training. One of the crows also visits Tamayo, letting her know that the Demon Slayer Corps is going to do one final push against Muzan and they would like her help. A lot of the Demon Slayers are whipped into shape by the Hashira. Many of the current ranks becoming discouraged, seeing the distance between themselves and the Hashira. Some even give up to have a more supportive role. However, Tanjiro talks to them and let them know that any support that they are able to provide will be greatly beneficial. As Tanjiro is about to start the training with the Wind Hashira, he hears a conversation between Genya and Sanemi. And Sanemi attempting to blind poke his eyes out in order to force Genya to become bedridden and stop being a Demon Slayer. While training with Gyomei the Stone Hashira, they learn more about his backstory. In his younger days, he stayed at a temple, watched over a bunch of orphans, and had a very weak and sickly body. It was a happy life with him and the children. A young boy who broke the rules, destroyed the wisteria flowers that were keeping the temple safe from demons. And while Gyomei tried to protect many of the children, many of them were killed. Gyomei was able to beat the demon to a pulp. However, the last surviving girl saying he killed the children, and this had Gyomei put on trial. As Tanjiro completes his training, he sees Zenitsu by a rock, and Zenitsu is not his full personality. He is very serious, holding a letter. Cut to night, we see Muzan walking into the Demon Slayer mansion, about how he is going to finish the Demon Slayers this very night. Ubuyashiki detonates a bomb underneath the house, which kills himself, his wife, and his daughters, and is able to gravely injure Muzan. However, due to Muzan being a demon, he's able to quickly regenerate. This was all part of Ubuyashiki's plan, as Muzan is quickly stopped in place. Tamayo puts a poison into him, and the Stone Hashira is there to fight him as well, taking off his head. However, despite taking off Muzan's head, Muzan is able to regenerate, letting them know that the only thing that can defeat Muzan is sunlight. And all the Hashira rush to the mansion, and they all attempt to attack the main demon in order to kill him. However, before their attacks are able to land, and a strike of a Biwa is heard, summoning all the Hashira and all the Demon Slayers into the Infinity Castle. As they are sent down, Inosuke could not be happy about being sent down, and Zenitsu, who we thought is perhaps unconscious at the moment, has a very stern face, who's ready to take on any demon that comes across him.